I just can't keep on going, I just can't keep on going. I'm falling in love with you. I just can't keep on going, I just can't keep on going. I'm falling in love with you.
So I decided to change the tires by myself on this bike. So far, I've done everything else, so I said, why not the tires? This wound up being maybe the hardest job that I did on this bike. So first of all, I was trying to get the axle off. That was the first part. The rear axle was literally seized onto the inside of the wheel. Those bearings were just seized onto the axle itself. And I used penetrating oil. I think it was PB Blaster. I was banging on it with a hammer for a while. I did eventually get it off, but I don't think I got it off in this video. But it was a lot of work, so I decided just to leave it on while I was doing the tire thing because it just was not going anywhere. But back to the tire. So these tires have been on the bike for maybe 20, 30 years probably. And the bike has been sitting in the desert. So sitting in the baking sun, sitting in the rain, getting rusted, getting dry rotted, all that kind of stuff to the wheel. And these things were hard as rocks. They were literally not going anywhere. Now, I watched a lot of videos on YouTube. I believe there's a common motor video. And all these videos make changing the tires look relatively easy. It looked like it took a little bit of effort, but not the amount of effort that I was putting into this and not getting anywhere. I think for me, they were just so dry rotted, and none of these videos were really showing anyone taking off wheels that were dry rotted. Now, I did eventually get the tires off after much effort, and I believe it took me a couple of days as well, and multiple of those tire iron leveraging tools. But man, was that a struggle. And yeah, I do have to admit, part of that struggle was I just don't know what I'm doing. I know there's a proper technique to removing tires, and I'm sure if I knew the exact technique, it probably would have been a lot easier. So I was kind of working against myself with dry rotted tires and not knowing the proper technique at the same time. I'm sure if I was an experienced mechanic, it might have been difficult, but I would probably have gotten them off easier. But like I said, we got there eventually. So I actually wound up getting really frustrated and I think the camera ran out of battery. So I did get the tire off, but it's just not on camera. So here's the bare wheel itself. As you can see, the axle's actually starting to come out. I'm just been loading it up with PB Blaster and hammering it with the rubber mallet and the hammer as well, just going back and forth. And eventually that axle started pushing out and we got it all the way out. But as you can also see, this wheel is just grimy. So I started cleaning that up, kind of scrubbing the whole wheel down. And all these components are pretty nasty as well. So one of my favorite tools that I started using with this job is an ultrasonic cleaner. Mainly used for, I think, like cleaning jewelry and things like that. But I found the tip online somewhere that you can use it to clean smaller motorcycle parts, depending on the size of your cleaner. And I absolutely love this thing. In this video, I put simple green in as the cleaning solution. I think I went like 50-50 with water. I've also used Pine Sol as well to good effect. It just really stinks. Do it outside for sure. But yeah, basically it heats up the water and it ultrasonically vibrates the water and kind of like knocks the dust and dirt off. And it works beautifully. After that, I just kind of rinse everything off and dry it off, and the parts look great. So the new tires come in, and of course now it's time to put the new tire and tube back on the rim. Now again, I watched some YouTube videos about putting the tire on first, on one bead, and then sliding the tube inside it using baby powder, all these different techniques. Man, I could not get these tires on. So, I mean, I didn't mess with it as much as I did getting them off, so I decided just to take to a shop. This was the only thing that I took to a shop in this build, was putting the tires on the wheel. I was just so sick and tired at this point. it was just too much. I didn't want to do it anymore. My man Ryan at ADV Mototech in Glendale is my guy, and he got me sorted super quickly at a great price. So after that, we got the rear wheel back on the bike. But as you can see, I forgot to put the brakes on. And actually, I was wondering why the wheel didn't fit right, why there was such a gap, and it's because the brakes weren't on. Duh. Thank you everyone for the comments and tips that everyone has been leaving on the video. Please feel free to keep doing that. And let's keep going on with this build video. I have a few more bikes in the pipeline for more build videos as well. So I'm super excited about those, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.